Okay, that took a little while. Wow, YouTube did not want to go live. Always good fun. I love a last minute panic. Right, if you've got everything, great. You've got some time to like and subscribe. You can also join the Maths Mob and get some of my epic workbooks and the Maths Mob memo through. And you can also go grab a sieve, because I didn't put that on the list, but I discovered in Tuesday's lesson it would be beneficial to have a sieve. So yeah, there are options for you whilst I just get myself sorted. Say hi on Facebook too. That's another option for you. Go on to Facebook and say, hi, Ruth. Woo, that's not the noise I expected. I love that song. That's me checking I've put a post on Facebook. Just as I said it, I was like, ooh, have I actually done that? Oh dear. And if you've done all that, just share it with someone. Share that this lesson is live now with another home ed family that might want to join. Go for it. Just tell them, remind them. We're not good at remembering stuff, are we, as parents? It's like exhausting. There's so much to remember. Oh, we don't need that. Put that one away. Okay. Good morning, Maths Mob. How are you doing? Woo! I don't know what it's like everywhere else. I assume because I live in Cumbria that if it's sunny here, it's pretty much sunny everywhere. So I'm gonna say, oh, so nice to be in the sun. But you know, sorry if that's not you. I am a little bit gutted that I have to be in office doing this and not just sat in the garden. But it would be very noisy and distracting if we were in the garden, because my kids would be playing all around us. So it's an absolute joy to be with you guys too. It's so much fun doing these live lessons. I friggin' love it. So I didn't realise when I was doing my lesson on Tuesday how freaking ill I was. After the lesson, I had to go and lie down because my stomach was really hurting. I didn't know why. And it wasn't until yesterday when I collapsed and absolutely couldn't do anything and just had to like nap for half of the day. I was like, oh yeah, I was poorly. And then yesterday I just like slept. And then I had a really good sleep last night. So then I'm like, yeah, today I feel like I've got the energy of 10 women. Awesome, epic, feeling really good. How are you? How are you? We're doing asteroids, comets, and meteoroids today, obviously. So I had to look up what the difference between these things were. So I had in my head, I thought I know what an asteroid is, I know what a comet is, but then the whole meteorite thing totally threw me. So I put a dinosaur on the front cover to remind me to talk about that a little bit. We will get to that bit. Let's start though with what are asteroids? This is the bit I was like, yeah, I feel pretty good about this bit. I've got a picture to help us. It takes, I need to work out a way to make it quicker, to make PowerPoints and workbooks, because these take me friggin' ages and I don't know how to make them quickly. And because I've made them, you actually have to look at them. It's not optional, I'm afraid. So here we go. Look at this. We've got my main man, the sun, over here, hanging out on the right over here. So the sun's massive. Couldn't fit it on the screen, obviously. So then we've got like Mercury, Venus, Earth. Didn't need to label those. I figured you'd recognize that one. Then Mars. Okay, I labeled this one because this is key. We've got Mars here, the red one. You can see it if you look out in the night sky. You can see like a red thing that's not flashing. Well, it's like an orangey colour. That's Mars. You can see it with your naked eye. Very cool that it's actually red. And we've got Jupiter. So these are our rocky planets. And then we go on to the gassy giants. Jupiter's the first one if we're traveling away from the sun. And in between Mars and Jupiter, we've got all these asteroids. So that's where most of the asteroids in our solar system live. And some of them are friggin' massive, like the size of planets, but they're not defined as planets because they're in this asteroid belt. They've not cleared their own path around the sun like the other planets have. So even though some of them are really big, they haven't cleared this path, and they're also a very, very irregular shape, which we'll come to in a minute. So Barbie, I forgot about Barbie. I forgot about her, and my daughter will be ever so disappointed if I don't include her. So yeah, this is for an audience of one, but the rest of you can watch. So Barbie had to get back in her rocket, and she's going to blast off. She's going further from the sun, and she's got to avoid all these asteroids because it's carnage up there, absolute carnage. It's all right, you're in your rocket, Barbie. Don't panic. Shall we put you over here for a second? Yeah, cool. Let's do it. Let's put you there. So yeah, those asteroids, they're flying around. So one reason they're not a planet, even if they are friggin' massive, is that they've not cleared their path around the sun. They're orbiting with lots of other rocks and debris in there. But there's another reason. So we talked about this a little bit with the moon, didn't we? The moon, it wasn't a sphere. Here we go. We've got a sphere. I'll tell you a funny story actually before I move on with this. So this is where we keep our marbles, in a box in my daughter's bedroom. Yeah. So there's this lovely tin here. And on Tuesday's lesson, my daughter wanted to help me out. So she went and got the marbles for me and left them on my desk. But shall I show you how she left them? She left them on my desk like this. Do you see the lid? Do you see the lid there? Yeah? She put the lid face down on the desk. And then she undid it but then she made a mistake. She told me what she'd done because she thought it would be hilarious if I picked it up by this handle and marbles went everywhere. And that would not have been so hilarious to me if I had to deal with that in the middle of a live lesson. So I'm glad she told me, but I also like that she was cheeky enough to think about it. So that's a bit of a side note. Right, so we've got planets. So our moon, we said, isn't a sphere like this. The moon is almost like an egg shape because of gravity working on it, but it's much more regular than an asteroid. And the Earth, again, isn't quite a perfect sphere, but is more regular than the moon. So regular in terms of these sorts of shapes that we're talking about getting as close to a sphere as possible. So if we look at asteroids, they are super, super irregular shapes. Okay, so if we look here, if this represents like a planet where it's almost or as close as possible to a sphere, and I was trying to work out if there's anything in the solar system that is really, really close to a sphere. I've not got that. I was wondering if black holes, but the problem is we can't observe them as such. Because I think a lot of it's to do with the mass and gravitational pull that creates the more regular shape, whereas asteroids are super, super irregular, like this. And if you've got them with you, you might have a marble and a stone with you. I suggested bringing marbles and a stone, but you can just watch if you haven't done. I'll put this down on my desk so you can have a little look here, and we'll just hope the marble doesn't roll away. I didn't plan for that. So that colour's not brilliant, is it? Let's change that around. There we go. That colour's a bit better. You can maybe just see some details there of why one is, you know, what the difference is. How this one sort of has bits that are sticking out. You might feel it. How does it feel? How versus your marble? How does your marble feel? What do you reckon? You might have some words for that, or you might just think about it. This is the rock, which is representing our asteroid. Mine is much rougher. It's got bumpy bits. I can feel bits that are sticking out, and I can see bits that are sticking out. Whereas my marble, representing like my planet, is smoother. It's not perfectly smooth, but it's much smoother. And I can't see any bits sticking out. There's some deformities and some irregularities, but there's no bits sticking out of that in the same way. I don't know if you've noticed the same things. I'm really regretting mixing my rocks and my marbles up now, but Celebi, that's done. That happened. So asteroids, you may have heard then that it was an asteroid that hit Earth and started the process that wiped out the dinosaurs. So I don't think the asteroid actually went bonk on all the dinosaurs' heads. I think what happened is it actually, my understanding is it went into Earth and sent up this huge dust cloud that blocked out the sun for a very long time. Plants and things all died out because of lack of sunlight, and because they were such only tiny little creatures managed to survive. The really massive ones that need lots of energy weren't able to survive. So I understood it as an asteroid that hit the planet. But technically, I'm not sure that language actually is factually accurate. Because in my research, and I generally start off with some books. So I've got books here that we use a lot for our home ed. We love space, so we bought those ones. And then I go online and make sure I do a bit of fact checking with NASA and things like that. My understanding is that, yeah, an asteroid is up in space, generally in the asteroid belt, but they can come out of that. And it's big. Yeah, it's really big, most asteroids. But often, more frequently than an asteroid coming out of there, is bits break off of that, as well as comets. And when bits break off, they're called meteoroids. And when a meteoroid or an asteroid or any sort of bit of space debris, shall we say, comes into the Earth's atmosphere, so that's like where there's loads of layers of atmosphere, then it's called a meteor. Most bits of debris and space stuff will burn up in our atmosphere to do with the speed it's going at and the fact that the atmosphere is dense. It will burn up in the atmosphere, but not for all, and not for the one that hit and wipe out the dinosaurs, because it was so big. Bits will have burnt off of it, but not enough to prevent the massive catastrophe that was the wiping out of the dinosaurs. And when it lands on Earth like that one, it's called a meteorite. So my understanding is it was actually a massive meteorite. But correct me if I'm wrong. Sometimes you guys are more expert on this than me. I'm the maths expert. And that's my understanding from the reading of it. Okay. I said you need to bring these things to do a really messy activity. I did learn a lesson the other day. I like a lot of mess, not to do it so close to my laptop. Okay. Get your dish. And we're going to put some flour in the bottom. But this works better if you sieve the flour, actually. We need a nice little layer of flour. Oh, what have I done there? Make this a bit brighter. We need a nice little layer of flour. Sieving thing, I don't know. I think it's probably better two people doing this together, but you see how you go. Okay, so I'm going to sieve. I mean, it doesn't matter what type of flour. Any flour is absolutely fine. Okay, we'll sieve this into the dish. So we've got like a layer of flour. Ooh, what's that in my flour? It's a bit random there. Bit of red stuff. Oh, it's the packet. Okay, so we need quite a thickish layer of flour, actually. We don't want it to be too fine. Okay, so that's not enough. I'm gonna put more in. Me and my kids always test these activities to make sure they're fun enough. I would hate to do an activity that's not fun enough. So I always make sure I test them with them. And we did this one. My cousin who's celiac was absolutely horrified. She's like, I'm not coming to visit you for a very long time. I was like, that's fine. That's fine. I totally understand that. I should have gone gluten-free. So I need to sort of make that a bit more even in my tray. That's probably enough. That's probably enough. I did it thicker the other day. Oh, man, it's quite hard to get it evened out. Okay. So you carry on with that. You keep putting your flour in the bottom, even it out. You can go thicker than me. I think like that's probably minimum amount, which is about like a couple of centimeters thick, maybe. Yeah, you want it to be at least a couple of centimeters, I reckon. Okay, so you keep doing that whilst I talk a little bit about comets. So comets, not the same as meteorites or meteoroids or all the rest of it. So they interlink, don't they? Because I said bits can break off those and become, can you see my little crib notes? Become a meteoroid. I can't say that fast. So bits can break off the comet and become a meteoroid, okay? And they can become a meteor if they enter the Earth's atmosphere, and a meteorite if they land on it. But up in space, they are different because they're made of different stuff and generally found in different places. So let's have a little look at comets here. Let's have a little look. So here's my very accurate solar system, or not, but it was the best I could do for a free picture that showed us like coming away from the sun. So the sun is here where it's super hot. Can you see the heat radiating off the sun? You can almost feel it, can't you? And then here, most comets are further out here. So this is where, if you've ever heard of Pluto, when I was a child, Pluto was a planet. Now it's not anymore because it turns out it's not cleared its path. It's not cleared its path around the sun. It's actually got lots of debris around it. And this bit of the solar system is really frigging cold, really, really cold because it's so far away from the sun. And we'll look at distances actually to do with that. I think it's next week or the week after. I can't remember exactly. But one of them we'll look at just quite how astronomical the distances are to get out of here. And most comets come from this area of our solar system where it's super cold. That's why there's icicles here. And they don't look like this. They don't actually look like this. What they actually look like is just a lump of rock. But they're not just rock. There's lots of ice in there as well because they're super cold. And they don't orbit around the sun like most of the planets in sort of a nice circular orbit, or even a regular sort of elliptical orbit. They do almost like a slingshot effect. So they do like an elliptical orbit, but you can see they go really far from the sun and then really close to the sun and then really far from the sun and really close to the sun. And what happens is they look like a rock or a block of ice or a combination of, and you get closer and closer to the sun. And then as they get close enough to start being warmed up by the sun, bits of ice start melting. There's other parts to it too. They reckon at first there was just like two tails to a comet, but now they reckon there's a third one as well that's maybe like salt coming off of it. So they reckon that they can sort of start getting an idea of the composition, what's making up the rock. But a lot of this is going to be ice melting from the heat, which causes this tail behind the comet that we see from Earth. And we see like a sort of shooting star style effect, and it's got this tail, but you see as it moves around the sun, the tail is pointing in different directions. It's always away from the sun because that's the sun's what's the called? It's like a solar wind. The solar wind, the effect of the heat from the sun is sort of blasting it away from the sun, and then as it gets further and further, it then freezes again and looks more rock-like again when it comes out to the cold a bit here. Okay, so comets are totally different. Well, not totally. I mean, I think they've still got that rocky element to them, but they're from a different area in the solar system, and they've got a different composition to them. Right, you should have your layer of flour. You should have your layer of flour. Now this bit's optional, but it's kind of cool if you do it. if you've got some cocoa powder, we're going to do a little dusting of cocoa powder over the top now. Okay, this bit is really what I brought the sieve for, because I made quite a mess of this the other day. Okay, so we're going to put like a dusting of cocoa powder over the top. You ready? Just needs to be quite a fine dusting, but you kind of want it all over, like this. Okay. So then you've got a little layer of dusting. Let's have a little look at why we are doing this then. So I'm just going to have to move that. You keep doing that. It might take you a little bit longer. Get a little fine dusting over the top. If you've not got cocoa powder, don't worry. You can still do this. It's not a problem. So she's blasted up to the asteroid belt, but she's going to have a look back at where we were last week. She's going to look back at the moon for a minute, okay? Have a little look back at the moon, because the moon is a really fabulous example of this. Is that you can see these massive craters on the moon. In fact, even by eye, you can see some of the craters on the moon. And these craters are different shapes, which we'll talk about in a second. And lots of them are created by impact from asteroids, comets, meteoroids, knocking into the moon. This does happen to other planets and other objects in space, but this is the moon is a really great place for us to be able to observe it, and because of the lack of atmosphere, they are preserved quite well as well, so it's really, really easy for us to be able to see them by telescope and things like that. So some of these, they're going to be different shapes to each other depending on like the what's hit into it. Some of them, oh, here we go. Look, I've got lovely. You've got to look at it because I made it. A bit of asteroid is just going to go, bit of asteroid will come in and hit the moon. Some of them may be circular shapes. So here I've highlighted one that is a circle here. And if we measure all the way across from one side to the other, going through the center, that measurement there is like the maximum width. And we call it the diameter. It's got a super special name. So we tend to refer to these, the size of them, by the diameter. But not all of them are going to be a perfect circle shape, because obviously not everything that's hitting into it is going to be a perfect circle. So you've often got irregular shaped ones and oval shaped ones as well. So if we look at an oval shape, your maximum width is going to be the major axis. So that's going from one side to the other through the center, but it's going from edge to edge. So this is our major axis. And then we've got the smallest width, which is our minor axis, going from the one side to the other in the shortest possible distance, again through the center as well. Okay, so we're going to try and take some of those measurements today if we can. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. So we've got to create some craters in order to be able to measure them, haven't we? So you should have some rocks and some marbles, and this is the point where you need to make some craters. Now it depends what space you've got, how much mesh you're going to make, how breakable things are around you. You can try chuck in some of these. I'm going to be doing dropping because I don't want to get all more dust in my laptop again, actually, to be honest. I might just cover those bits up that are sort of going to be breakable. I'm going to get my rocks. So I've got some rocks. I'm going to try using my asteroids. No, yeah, they're my asteroids, or my meteoroids. But I'm going to use a few marbles too, just to see the difference if I whack a marble in there. See if it comes out with a different shape. So I'm going to start off with a marble, actually. I'm going to start off with marble. And I'm going to drop it in and see what happens. So, can you see the crater? That's quite a good one, wasn't it? Oh, that's much easier to pick out. I definitely did it too thick the other day. Definitely did it too thick. So you can see all the dust that's spread around. That is absolutely to be expected. And then this one has made like a lovely circular crater. And I can measure, if I want to, the diameter. Now, I tried with a ruler the other day. I did try with a ruler. It gets quite fiddly because my dish is quite it's quite hard to bend it into my dish. So I'm going for a tape measure today. I'm going for a tape measure. I want to put I'm going to measure in centimeters. Now it's quite hard to decide which bit to measure. I'm thinking this circle around here is like the debris impact. I want the debris. I want to measure the actual crater here. So I'm going to go right to the edge of the crater to measure mine. So I'm going to put the very edge of my tape measure on one side, and go to the other side, try and go through the diameter. Just under 3 centimeters, I make that. I think about 2.9 centimeters. Can you guys see that? Maybe if I bring it down a little bit closer. Bring it down a little bit closer so you can see that measurement. Seeing that? 2.9. Do we reckon? Would you agree with me about 2.9 centimeters? I reckon so. About 2.9. I'm going for that. So that one was a nice circular one. Let's try some others. I'm going to try. Oh man, I wanted to wear these trousers. I'm going to a singing circle after this. I put trousers on that were clean that I wanted to wear. Then I'm covered in cocoa. I never think this through, do I? Right, I'm going to try an asteroid now. What happens when I do an asteroid? Are we ready? Are we steady? Oh man, did you see that? That hit and jumped. So that's made a huge crater. Oh, that's nice because you can see the flower underneath. You can see that the surface layer actually got blown away by the impact. It went. So now I've got it's an irregular shape here. So I would need to, in this case, measure my major and my minor axes if I want to talk about the size of this crater. So I'm going to put my tape measure right at one edge. So, I reckon that one about 5.3 centimeters. So 5 is the big number, and then I'm using the little lines to decide the bit after the decimal. About 5.3 centimeters. And the minor axis, I reckon, what have we got along here? About, I'm going to say bang on 3 centimeters there. My hand's really shaky. I'm struggling to keep it still. Stop shaking, hand. About 3 centimeters across. How are you guys doing? Like, if this was my kids, we would have a lot more asteroid impacts by now. I'm going very slow. They will be very impatient with me. I say if we've done this activity, and I know for sure that we had at least 30 asteroid impacts. And then we made cake afterwards, which was good fun too, because I don't like wasting stuff. So I used it all to make brownie. We put far too much cocoa in it though, which was interesting. So there we go. That's quite cool because that's an irregular shape asteroid. But actually, if we look at the impact that one's made, it's a fairly regular shape. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a regular shaped asteroid to make a regular shaped crater. That's quite interesting in itself, isn't it? So if I was to measure this one, again, I'm going to go for a diameter because I think it's fairly circular, this one. That's about 3.5 centimeters in diameter, that one. Right. Okay, I'm going to do one last one. I'm going to choose this because I think this one, I really like this one because it's got like crystal bits in it. So it makes me think, like, if I pretend those are ice, this could be a bit that broke off a comet, couldn't it? Do you reckon? Or do you think all the ice would have melted by the time it got that close to the sun? Hey, should we give it a go? Oh, that was a good impact. Look at that. Again, that did a little bounce, didn't it? We've got a really irregular shape here, but it's close. It's not massively oval shaped, is it? It's very close to a circle shape. So let's see if we get a major and a minor axes on this one. Let's have a look, shall we? If I measure across, this looks like the widest bit. That's about 4.5 centimeters, I reckon. And then probably this is the narrowest bit, which is about 3.1 centimeters, I reckon. That was a nice one. I like that a lot. Well, you feel free to keep going with that. I'm going to stop there. With mine. But feel free to keep going. I would love to see your pictures of what yours look like. That would be epic. I'm going to say hi to some people in a minute. If you've not said hi on Facebook yet, I'm just going to turn that down there. If you've not said hi on Facebook yet, you've still got a chance to. You can say hi to me on there, and I'll say hi back. That's only if you're live. If you're not live, you can feel free to say hi, but I won't be able to say hi back. I could type hi maybe. but I can't say it in person. It's not quite the same, is it? I'm really, really pleased that you have joined me in this session. It's been absolutely fab. I just want to tell you a couple of things. So I have created, I don't think I talk about this enough. I've created this Maths Mum memo. So lots of people wanted a magazine, which is just not in my skill set. But what is in my skill set is doing lots of fun home ed stuff with my kids. I love it. My absolute passion. And we have together, the three of us, explored lots of physical activities to do with fractals, which is an area of maths I absolutely freaking love too. And then we put the most fun ones into this booklet with also with a little quiz, a little activity, so you can make, this is instructions on how to make one of these fractal cards that me and my son played around with. Pretty cool. We've had a lot of fun looking at the shadows of those as well, which was really good fun. And yeah, some art activities and things like that in there as well. Okay, so that can come in the post to you if you become a square or a triangle. I should also, I'll send out those people that sign up for the first time. You'll get some origami paper until I run out of it. You'll get my original Maths Mod memo as well, which is cute. Introduction to Maths Mod Monkey. But also, for the squares, I make workbooks every week, and I don't think I shout about these enough. They are brilliant if you want all the notes there in front of you, because it gives you all the notes for all the lessons. So I turn my PowerPoints into notes for you. But I also, in every workbook, give at least one, if not two, activities for you to explore at home. So with the number sense stuff, you've got some more of the questions to have a go at in different ways. For the maths in motion, so in this term, maths in space, you get like an activity to have a go at as well at home, which might be something to do with like it's printed on there, or it might be a link to look at online or something like that as well. So loads of extra stuff to look at home too, because we love doing that. We love being inspired by something and then going off on a tangent. So I thought you'd enjoy that too. And I've got loads of great feedback about it, but I need to shout about it more. I need to tell more people. You can help me with that too. If you want to share, that would really, really be appreciated. Okay, so highs. I promised some highs. I did. I promised some highs. So I'm going to do that now. Facebook. I did check, didn't I? I put the post on. Oh, this is really, so what I use here is a super old phone as a work phone for my social media stuff, but it's old. It's really slow. It doesn't like me. We're not getting on at the moment. I have to keep closing it down all the time for different things. Okay, right, let's see. Oh yeah, if you want to join the squares or the triangles, if you go to the top of my page, there's like a button that says sign up or something like that. That's blue. Or I've put the link also in the chat, so you can have a look at that. Oh man! Hi, Days and Maya, Pop and Eden. Pop! What an incredible name. Hi from Mummy, who has cocoa and flour across the lounge. Hopefully you've got a good Hoover as well, and it'll all be fine. And you like totally embraced it all. Oh, hi guys, it's so good to have you here. And yeah, it's given you a good introduction to like what my lifestyle is like, which is generally just making a mess, having a laugh, and then going, I need to clear it up, and then repeat the next day. And so I hope you have thoroughly enjoyed that bit. And yeah, do help Mummy clear up the mess, please, so you can come back. Who else have we got? Aaron and I are going to make a mooncake. Yes. Okay. Everyone needs to do that now. With the flour and the cocoa powder, we all need to make mooncakes, because I've got my flour and cocoa powder left over. Where have I put it? I've lost a bowl of flour and cocoa powder from last lesson. That's going to be entertaining. I still haven't found the Play-Doh from my moon lesson either, which is also going to be entertaining. We should all make mooncakes. We definitely need to do that now. I think, like, do you believe in homework? I don't know. I don't. But I'm going to give you some. If you want to, go and make mooncakes with your flour. If you don't want to, I'm totally fine with that too. Because I actually have big beef with homework, but we'll not go into that right now. Oh no, I put the wrong link. Oh man. Oh, Jacob and Helen, I'm so sorry. I put the wrong link. Oh, what a muppet I am. This is because I think I've been ill. I didn't click until yesterday that I've been ill the last week. I just kept saying, oh, I've got no energy. I'm so tired. I need more sleep. But I just think I clicked that I was really ill. So I think I did the links when I was in that ill stage. Sorry about that. Hopefully people still found me. Hi from Bella. Hi, Bella. So good to have you here. Hi. Oh, and Aaron and Ruby. Really good to have you guys here too. How weird, because I do it's a private lesson. I don't know how. It's a small group problem solving lesson I do on a Friday and a Monday. And I had an Aaron and a Ruby in my lesson this morning, but they were like separately. So yeah, it's just cool that there's an Aaron and a Ruby here too. Hi guys, it's really nice to have you here. Oh man, it's turned off on me. Come on. Oh man, have I missed it? It's Pi Day. How useless of me, a maths teacher. Happy Pi Day, of course it is, the 14th of March. I've just spotted that now. Happy Pi Day. And we did about circles. How convenient is that? That worked out well, maybe. You can always go and find my lesson about pi if you really want to. I ought to advertise my lesson about pi on Pi Day, shouldn't I? I should totally do that. Yeah, you've given me an idea. Thank you, Jacob. Thank you. Erin and Clara. Oh, I'm loving the comet emojis. How have I not found that? That's so cool. Hi, guys. Thank you for joining me. Who else have we got? Jakey and Charlie. Hi, Jakey and Charlie. You guys are smiling, which is also lovely. We can smile and have comments all at the same time, can't we? I think we should. I think we should do lots of that. Hi from Jacob. Hi, Jacob. Who else have we got? Sean and Bertie. Oh, you guys have sent me a photo. Oh, look at that. Oh, man. And you've got a Minecraft top on. My son would be like, yeah, that's so cool. Okay, let me see if I can show you the photo. There's no face on it, so this is cool. Look at that. Look at that for a moon crater. Oh, it's not focusing very well, probably because it's a bit dirty. That's awful, isn't it? Can you see that? Look at that. That looks really good because it looks like the moon because you've got a circular bowl. I really like that. That was good thinking. Who thought about that? Can you come and help me plan my lessons, please? I could have done that. No, I couldn't. My circular bowls of glass. That could have been a disaster. Hey, you made it! Aaron made it. Awesome. Well done, Aaron and Helen. You weren't sure if you're going to make the live. You have done. High five. That's 10. High five. Oh, I love it when I get maths things wrong. It's just hilarious. I do some tutoring in the evenings. I'm trying to like slowly move away from it and build up my income here instead. But I can't leave it at the moment. But last year I had 8 spaces for tutoring and I booked 9 because I didn't count properly and I just couldn't admit to any of them that I'd miscounted. So I just had to make another space. That was like the most awful advert for a maths tutor. Oh dear. Right, okay. There's another. Yes, I found it. There's another comment. I could see there was another comment, but Facebook doesn't put them in order. It doesn't like put the new ones somewhere handy. So I have to like go through them all. Hi from Timothy, Noah, Joseph, Julietta, and Isabella. Hello, all 5 of you. That's amazing that you're all here. Thank you for coming and joining in and saying hi. I think I have everyone now. I think. Oh man, another picture. Whoa, that is a deep crater. Oh, whose is that? It says Joe Northern Girl. Joe Northern Girl, tell me. I want to know your real name. That is so cool. Look how deep that crater is. Whoa. That is a super deep one, isn't it? You've got some big marbles there. Over 4 centimeters. Wow. And it's really deep. It goes really far down as well. That's awesome. Okay, I'm going to refresh one more time. And yeah, please do help spread the word because the more, like, I'm home ed, so I can spread the word so much, but I obviously only know so many people. And then I need more people in different areas to spread the word. So yeah, keep spreading the word so I can get more free lessons out to people, please. It really helped me. I really, at the moment, we're still in the getting more people in phase. Clara and Erin are experimenting with how high they drop the marbles and if they make the deeper craters. That is fascinating, girls. That is very fascinating. Absolutely. The other thing that we ended up experimenting with, we made a lot of mess. Speed and angle. Speed and angle. I feel like you need to do this at least 4 times to do all the experiments, because you should only change one thing at a time. So you're doing the right thing, changing the height and seeing what happens. And then another time, when you feel like doing this again, you could try throwing versus dropping. And then another time, when you feel like doing it, you could try different angles and see what happens. That's very cool. Very, very cool. Right, there has been another comment somewhere, I think, that I missed. Oh, Days! Testing. Oh, Days is also testing how high to drop it and if the holes get bigger or not. That's so cool. So you're doing that as well, Days. Epic. Absolutely epic, guys. Oh, that's so cool. I'm so in awe of you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I am going to be with you again this time next week. Also, I do it on Tuesday at 9:30 on Facebook. You can find me live. I will get the right links up. I put all the links up on Saturday morning. I have some time. My husband takes the kids to gymnastics, so I have some time to do all that fiddly online stuff then. So I will get the links up tomorrow. I will make them the proper links this time. I will do all of that. If you could then please share. Tell everyone about it to get as many people in as possible. And then also, if you are able to support me with £5 or £6 a month too, that would be epic. Thank you ever so much. I have loved this. Thank you, and I will see you soon. Bye, guys.